about that on the Food Network.
Yeah, Phil Knight just gave $408 million to them. And so they're getting, they just had a groundbreaking ceremony on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
But I put the story about them in my magazine, and that magazine was in On Point Bank for 3 months.
Oh,
And somebody picked it up that knew this company called Profit Portland. They shared it with somebody else. The news got ahead hold
That's why we
of
got to
it
get you online, too.
and went and talked to
Like, I
them.
understand the publishing, but the way we're going to sell your ad is to sell an ad for an ad.
Right, right.
And that's the best way to do it, because everybody believes in digital right now. So we sell digital and say, hey, you spend this price on digital, we're going to also put you here.
Right, right, right.
That's how it makes it work.
So you
That's
guys,
what I did. And also the
about an hour-
podcast. I tell them we can do a little podcast.
in about an
about that.
hour, I just need to make a run about 30 minutes away, and then I can always come back or
You
whatever.
about to leave now?
No.
Oh.
I said,
I'm like, you about to leave now?
no.
I'm like, hold on.
Absolutely.
Let's get started, because she's trying to exit out,
Yeah,
bro.
I know.
Shut the door.
Listen, Jayson, he's a character.
She trying to run. We
You know
been
what?
deep in.
I was supposed to go there first, and I shut that down and come see Cafe on. So, yeah.
Hey, she make a, hey, bro, she make a break for the door. I need
No,
to
what you
trip
say?
her off.
Shut the door. No way. I would dare not. Not at all.
I need you to trip
And
her
what do you guys, is it tonight, Jonte?
Sunday night.
Sunday night. Okay.
So
You want to talk about it on camera? Let's
Yeah,
talk
I'm
about
gonna
it
bring
on
you to that. Just hold
Okay.
on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
First,
yeah.
we're gonna get into the topic,
Say
and
what
as
you
we
can,
close
you
out,
know.
I'm gonna be like, tell them where they can
Excellent.
find you. What do you have going on? You have a
Right
whole segment that you can give all that information.
Fabulous.
Whenever you ready, bro.
Oh, we can move our cups.
You can leave them on the table. Hey, I don't want them to think I'm thirsting y'all out.
I want to think it's liquor.
Nah.
No.
That's the red cups.
right.
Bingo.
Right.
Your audience chiming in.
I love it. I'm Kahlua and cream. That's it. So what do I know? What'd you say? That's the red cup with the Henny. Okay.
Dixie cups.
And I'm so tired, I can't even take a drink. I'm good. We've been full blast for 2 weeks.
We're back on NWCLV.FM. It's DJ King Cobra. Move slick, strike quick, hit you once, and it's over. And DJ, that's digital journalist, because I don't jock nothing. You heard me? We about to go right back into part 2, Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey everybody, welcome back. As y'all got the first part of the show, they told you about their success and what they're doing right now, but you know me, I gotta pull it out. I like to dig deep, because somebody out there may need it, and that's why, guys. And I know what pulled me out when I was building my business and I was going through it. I got a great mentor that one of my artists that I met, that I know managed, but I work with right now, and he's the mentor for him right now, because he's a chef, but he's also an artist. So my mentor is a great chef. He's in Costa Rica right now. Shout out to BG. But he pulled me out. He saw that I had hit it. I lost $92,000 in one day. Woke up, my landlord was at my door. My cars were towed.
Was that on crypto or something?
Nope. I have 5 women that run my business. One of them is my operations manager, so of course she has access to everything. And at that time, the person I had, shout out to the one I got now, I love her, but the one I had, I brought in, and she was literally stealing from my clients.
Darn. We live and learn.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the worst.
We
So
live and learn.
that's where and when he found out what happened, he pulled me up, came and got me, pulled me up and said, shut up and come on and keep going. People lose money every day.
Preach.
If you built it, you can build it back. So
Right.
that's why I do this show. Because those little stories. Somebody may be trying to build a magazine. Somebody may be trying to be a director and went through what you went through in school. Somebody may be going through what you went through. And the thing about it is those stories motivate, and you don't know who you're going to touch. So I always tell people, don't be scared to tell your stories. It's a reason. We just told the boxers we had it today, I'm not here to build your brand, I'm here to build your story. That is your brand. Because when you talk, people are going to connect with you. Right?
That's what a brand is all about. It
So,
really is.
I'm going to get with you first, because you had a
sure
great
you
story.
let me go last?
Okay. Well, we
Please, because mine's is a little gritty, grimy. So, you know.
That's why we
And
wanted to.
I'm sitting here
So
trying
guys,
to figure out.
we're gonna start the opposite way.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
start
be
with the
appropriate
Cub,
and
because you
politically
said you had a
correct
lot of
or
stuff going on
something.
while in college,
Mhm.
and that's the best thing that I do want to know too. So let's start and go backwards now.
Yeah, nice.
Right.
So tell some of the things that you went through that how did you keep yourself on track as you were going through those things? Because like you said, you lost a lot of people. I lost my dad during COVID, and that was like my best friend. So imagine how I felt.
Right.
And I lost a lot of friends, and I don't care about the friends because they weren't your friends if they left when the times were hard. Let's just put it like that.
Right.
So tell me how you bounced back and what did you do to keep yourself sane? And was family a big part of it?
Family was a big part of it, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know how to deal with it because I feel like a lot of the things I was dealing with, I was dealing with it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was dealing with it in like destructive ways, like just kicking it with my friends and drinking and like, you know. But now I'm dealing with it in healthier ways. I go to the gym.
She's like, I got the same stress, but I go to the gym.
Basically, yeah, and I pray a lot though too.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
I talk to God a lot. He's definitely real.
Hey, I'm so glad that you guys say that because my business is a Christian-based business, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard a lot. You hear it a lot because I've heard it a lot. Man, you can't put this mission statement out here, but I'll tell you guys what my mission statement say after I get you guys a story. But I'm telling you, I love that,
Yeah.
and I encourage that. If God isn't in your business, you're not doing nothing. I promise you.
For sure. There were definitely moments where I felt like I was mad at God because I didn't understand why things were happening the way that they were happening. But I've also seen God work miracles, and like I know that I couldn't have done it by myself, you know,
Right.
or like get out of those things by myself. But for a minute, I was just mine was super foggy. Like I said, I didn't really know how to deal with the stuff that I was going through. Like I lost my little brother to gun violence. I lost my friends to gun violence. Meanwhile, I'm still having to do midterms.
Like that?
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm still having to turn in papers and, you know, make up excuses to my teachers, emailing them, telling them I'm sick, but really, like, I was just in a whole shootout, like, being wrong place, wrong time, you know?
Right.
Like, stuff like that. So it was hard. It was definitely hard. But I talked to my mom a lot, and she, you know, she helped me through it.
I know, she seemed like Superwoman.
For sure. For sure.
I'm just looking for the cake.
I agree.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the answers. I just talked to God a lot, and now I'm finally where I feel like I need to be, and I'm on track because I used to get so frustrated because I knew what I wanted to do, but physically and mentally, like, I just could not get out of that, like, you know?
Yeah, right.
Stop. Yeah, I couldn't do it, like, and it made me feel even more depressed because I'm like, damn, like, sorry, I don't mean to cuss, but like, I'm like, damn, like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, but like, I'm not doing it. Like, I could do it if I wanted to do it, but I just don't have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm here, I feel different, I'm
I see a whole
involved.
different energy, like a ball of light. So she fighting through it,
But yeah.
and that's good. So let's get to Mama Dukes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to Superwoman. So so talk to me about some of your struggles, but also before you do that, how did you feel when she came to you and she talked to you and she said, hey, I'm going through something and I'm not able to do this by myself?
Well, I was going through it with her.
Yep.
We were going
I
through
can
it
imagine
together, and yeah, we had some really hard times last year that, you know, she helped me get through it, and I helped her get through it.
That's a great balance.
It was us really needing each other, and also Cheryl. Cheryl called and checked up on us so much. But it was really having faith, keeping faith, staying centered, trying to find ways to ground myself and not let grief or anger take over me. You know what I mean? I knew I needed to be strong for her while still trying to keep my businesses going, while people were still, you know, like kind of coming for my business. I had a lot of people trying to come for my business, like literally trying to steal my company. Right. Like people would try to kick you when you are down. So it was trying to stay strong and that, just really praying, staying grounded, and really just letting my visions of what I wanted our future to be motivate me, and to stay in that energy, to see myself already there and doing those things, and knowing that, like, one thing that me and her have noticed, that when we're at our worst, we know that there's a huge blessing coming.
Exactly.
We always know that, so we're always like, oh, something big is getting ready to happen, because we're going through some messed up stuff right now, so God is getting ready to really show us something.
People try to substitute God with manifestation, and I'm on that a lot.
Oh, there's a difference.
I'm like, listen, manifestation says I'm going to talk about it and eventually it's going to appear, right? But everything you just said is what I talk about every day.
There's
God
manifestation.
is there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't acknowledge him, you'll continuously go through the same rep. Because I'm writing a book, and it's eventually going to be released. I just keep adding stuff to it. So me and my publisher are going back and forth real quick.
Yes.
But what I did was I put 3 doors on there, and one of my biggest concepts I tell everybody is the devil opens the door wide open. God only cracks it this much. If you're not paying attention, you're going to keep going through the open door. And every time you make the wrong choice, you got to keep going around. You always come back to God, but if you keep making the same choice, you keep coming back. But until you figure out the lesson, you're not going to see that cracked door.
Right.
So with that, with your business, so let's talk about it. While you guys were going through what you're going through, and my condolences, but while you're going through what you're going through, like, how did you maintain the business? Like, what was some of the things that you was like, man, I gotta focus and I gotta get this together?
Well, so last year in June, was it last year or the year before? No, was it? We went through something really scary. I don't really want to talk about it on air. We went through something really scary, and our thing was we weren't gonna let that beat us. We wasn't gonna let them win by what happened, and we were going to show them that we could keep pushing. We wasn't going to let it destroy our businesses. I told her she wasn't, like, use your focus in school to keep your mind off of that. You know what I mean? Like, we have to focus on something to keep us moving forward. So my motivation was, I'm not going to let this situation be us. I'm going to go even harder. I'm going to, just really put my head into my business. I'm going to do my research. And anytime I start feeling heavy, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to, be upset, or like I wanted to cry, I would just start thinking about my business and the different events I was going to throw.
Oh, wow.
The next issue
She
that
said,
was
I'm going to throw a party.
up.
While y'all trying to make me sad, I'm throwing a party.
And I threw a party.
I
We threw a nice party.
hey,
threw a big
checklist party. Put that on the checklist. Next party they throw.
Yes. So we threw a party for the Black Estate. It was for the next magazine. So that was another thing. So I was trying to get this magazine out as well.
Okay.
It's a quarterly magazine, so it was a lot of pressure to get this next issue out. And people were hitting me up like, "Hey, when's that next issue coming out? We paid for an ad. Like, when is it coming?" They don't care. That's the thing, is that when you have a business, people don't care what you're going through
At all.
People don't care that somebody passed away. People don't care if your house got robbed. People, they don't
I paid
care.
my money.
All they want to know is when is it dropping, and so.
And I'm a testimony to that.
Right, and so there's a lot of pressure, when people are looking for you to finish something. So sometimes you got to just swallow. You can't really show on the outside what you're going through on the inside.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
You're
sometimes you got to
absolutely
pour
right.
yourself and take all that energy and all that anger and grief and pour it into your work. You know, and
But they
had
say
I
swallow it. Swallow
Right.
it. You got to swallow it. Yeah.
right, and then find other healthy outlets for it. You know what I mean?
Like kickboxing or the gym.
Working out, yeah. So we got into the gym hard. That was like our thing. I still go. So we got into the gym. I would go there. I would go on long walks or runs. I would go by water. Just anything to kind of put myself at a higher vibration. And like you say, when there's God, and there's manifestation,
Right.
and so there's our responsibility, and then there's things that are out of our control, where we
And
don't
you
have
can-
any
yep.
choice but to look to God.
Yeah.
And so, I really just went into prayer, was just asking
And
God
that's a great thing.
to pull us through it. And then opportunities started coming through like crazy. And like Cheryl, I call her my fairy godmother.
She came with
Cheryl
a
is my, she like, when me and Cheryl met, she whispered something to my ear. I was on the stage, at an event that I did out there in LA in Baldwin Hills, and she had showed up at the party. It's the first time I met her. Never seen this woman before in my life, and she came up on the stage as I had just got through talking and addressing everybody. She came and she whispered something in my ear, and she told me her story. And it kind of made me catch my breath. And I'm like, who is this woman? And why is she telling me this? And who told her about me? Who told her about my story? Because I thought she knew about me.
Yeah, and she
And she did it. But I was like, who told this woman about, And so she just, she said something that really caught my attention. And we've been friends ever since.
And that's awesome. That means it was destined. It was destined.
Definitely, and I mean, and we've just had so many great things going since then.
But it's because you guys held your own. God works in a way of saying, and I tell people this all the time, I talk about it. if you can make it through the storm. Everybody wants to blame the devil when things are going bad.
Right.
But sometimes we forget that God sends us through tests more than the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And if all he wants to do is see how much we hold our faith.
And how are we going to handle it?
And
And-
as long as you held your faith, he was going to reward you. And
Right.
if you believe that and you have faith in that and you go through it and you pass the test, he's always going to give you what you want.
And that's so true, because that's what it was for us. Like, you know, we were like, why is this happening? And I was like, this must be a test to see how we're going to get through this, because there's a lot of ways things can be handled. But to really, you know, when you're at your actual weakest point, you know what I mean? It's how you handle that situation that really shows how much you've grown
Exactly.
in life and who
Yes.
you really are going to be moving forward. And, you know, I was like, God, you know, God is testing right now, because it was like
And-
things coming left and right, and the old me from years ago. So let me just give y'all a little history.
She said, let me talk to
Y'all
y'all.
want the story, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a story, okay? So this is what I was talking about. When Cheryl came, I had never met anybody that had a story similar or as heavy as mine was.
Right.
So when Cheryl told me hers, and I was like, whoa, like that's heavy, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like, and to see who she is, and I did my research on her, and I'm like, wow, for this woman to come through everything that she went through, you know what I mean? Like, this is something I got to stay connected with. So, my story is I got pregnant when I was 16, young, ended up catching a charge. I was involved in gangs from the time I was 12 years old.
Back up. You just not going to blow by that. She just blew by that like, I was, hey, she said it so quick, she was like, I had to catch myself, like, hold on. You was in a gang. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
How many can relate, especially
Oh,
So, I
I'm
mean,
with you.
yes.
So believe it or not, Portland has a very bad gang problem. The black community in Portland, most of them came by way of California.
Yep.
All the jobs were taken in California, so they spilled over into Oregon, where they were hiring for the railroad and to work on the
Omaha,
ports
Nebraska.
and all that. So a lot of the gang members from LA's family also lived in Portland,
Wow.
and they were coming down to Portland in the late 70s.
Yep.
80s, 90s, and in the era that I was growing up, I was the only child, but all of my older cousins were in the gang.
So you was like, I'm in with them.
On both sides. I didn't even want to be in with them. When I got into middle school in the 6th grade, first day of school, mind you, that previous summer, my cousin had been killed. And it was the first death in our family in over 20 years. And he was a gang member. He was a blood. And now here I am going to 6th grade the summer after he's killed, and his younger sister's there, but she's 2 years older than me, so she's my older cousin.
Right.
And I get there, she's all banged out. She's already, her brother got killed,
She's
so
like, I don't
she's
care.
repping for her brother now, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And here I come in the school to beg if I could go there, because the other middle schools, there was like the opposite side over there,
Right.
and I knew I couldn't go to that school, so I
Right.
wanted to be where my family was at. So I get there, and first day of school,
You're a
this
gang member.
girl wants to fight me, and I don't know why she want to fight me. I'm like, I ain't never even been in a fight before. Like, next thing you know, we are at this park. This kid's getting off the bus. Her brother is there. He like, beat her ass, cuz, beat her ass, cuz. And my cousin like, no, get her black. Get her. So from that, next thing, we in a gang fight. We in a whole gang fight. We in 6th grade. Don't know nothing about no gangs. I'm sure his sister wasn't a gang member.
Wow.
I wasn't a gang member, but now this is where we choosing up. Because
So-
now that we
right.
in this, now that's what we're known as every time we go to school. So now the Crip girls don't like me, and so from then on, it was like I had that
Yeah, I
mark
wasn't
on
gonna
me.
let you skip past that part. I needed
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, so that's how it started, but it escalated as I got older.
Okay.
I had issues at home, came from a somewhat abusive household, started running away at 12 years old, and in middle school is when I actually quit school and was out there in the gangs, got my first tattoos, was really out there in the streets, trapping. I know.
Lots of kids.
Today,
Lots
now
of
you
kids.
never
I just
know.
can't see it. I'm like, I'm trying to imagine it.
That's the grace of God.
Well, I mean,
It's God, because you
That's
can't
God.
see it. You the
Yeah,
way
and I thank God that
Hey.
I'm not jaded and that I don't look like what I've been through.
Praise
But
God.
I caught a charge. I caught my first charge when I was 14, and they kicked me out of Portland. They put me on the gang flag, and they sent me to Detroit, Michigan, and told me I couldn't come back to Portland until I was 18 years old if I came back. Well, I got into trouble in Detroit at 16 and got sent back home to Portland. I wasn't supposed to be back there. And ended up running into some folks, had a situation, and now I'm pregnant. 4 months pregnant with my oldest daughter. I have a 27-year-old.
Okay.
She lives in Atlanta. Pregnant with her, get into a situation, have to defend myself. Some girls jumped me, and they're trying to give me 21 years. Measure 11 came out. That's around the time that
Yep.
the three strikes
Yep,
and Measure
3 strikes
11.
out.
So I was one of the first people in Oregon to get caught under a Measure 11 charge.
Wow.
At 16.
I defended that case. The reason why they broke it down to where it is now is because we had to do a big debate about it in front of the University of Nebraska about why that was so wrong to hold somebody under a charge when they were little and then bring that charge back just because they got in trouble years down the line.
So that charge ruined my life. It took a long time to bounce back from that. I did 4.5 years in jail.
Wow.
Went in when I was 16. I got out. I was pregnant with her when I went in.
She met my dad.
I met her dad when I was in jail. No, I take that back. I was pregnant with my oldest. I met her dad when I was in jail, and me and him ended up getting together when we got out. But we met in jail. He was in jail for robbery. Not to put his business out.
I
Ain't gonna be watching
said.
this.
Allegedly.
No, he did his. No, he did his time. He did his time.
He didn't do it. Hey man,
It's
I
time.
love that story because, like I said, I was a foster kid, so
Yeah.
people think because I talk the way I talk now and the way I handle business, I'm like, guys, I'm from the street. Like literally, I ain't never been to jail. I've been arrested, but I ain't never been to jail. But that doesn't mean I ain't never
Blessed.
did nothing.
Right.
I know, so I have to I get charged up a lot by a lot of people who look at me because I'm that person, I'm that black white boy they say because I talk good and I know how to enunciate, and I'm like, but at the end of the day, when I turn hood,
Right.
then everybody's like, well, watch out because he's done. I'm like, when I'm over it, I'm over it.
Right.
So to hear your story, I'm like, that's amazing. Like that's why I wouldn't let you get past it. I'm like, because more people need to hear that story, and I'm telling you, that is an awesome story because I'm pretty sure it's people that's watching us right now, both on my live and also on our live here, that are going through that and trying to figure out how to bounce back, and to hear that they can. That's the story.
And that's the thing, is that you can bounce back. It's all about mindset. The hard thing is getting out and not having any support, not knowing where to kind of go from there. So a lot of people fall back into the same things they were doing, you know. I knew when I was in there, all I could think about is, this is not supposed to be my life. I don't want to be a statistic.
Right.
And everybody that I was friends with before I went in there, every week I was hearing somebody was killed.
Yeah.
Friends I'd grown up with, friends I went to school with. Every time I called back home, a good friend of mine was dead.
Right.
I don't want to get emotional, but
No,
It's
you're
okay.
good.
You can rap.
We can stop the story whenever you want.
Great story.
I'm good. But
All good. Yeah, all good.
But I just remember, I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want that to be my life, and I don't want that my daughter at the time to grow up without me, and for her to be angry, and for her to feel like she had to be a product, of the streets. And I'm like, I knew I was better than where I was at, my circumstances. I knew I was smarter than that, and I didn't have anybody telling me that. You know what I mean? I came from a lot of verbal abuse, you know what I mean? And so you get a lot of that negative self-talk, and I never absorbed it. That was the thing, is I never absorbed. Well, I guess I did in a way, because it had me a little angry, you know what I mean? But I knew I was better than that, so I just started kind of.
You were angry.
I was angry.
You had it right.
So I started just reading. I just started educating myself. I really started. I remember I would read the Quran. I would read the Bible. I read the I Ching. I was just reading.
You didn't go to my high school because we had to do all that.
Did you?
My high school made us read it all.
Yeah, so I would just really try to kind of self-educate and self-help, and try to just get myself in a better. You think about what I wanted to do when I got out, and I did music. I did music for 19 years, and it started when I was in jail.
Wow.
They would have me perform.
I told you, I'm just waiting on the cake. When I see it come out, we're going to take a picture of it because it's coming. But okay.
Yeah, so that's part of that. I ain't going to make it too long.
We're going to get, because I'm going to have you guys back, because we're planning a bigger thing that bring a lot of our guests back to have bigger stories. So, because it's something we want to put together to really push out to the masses. But it's time to come to you. And I know your story is powerful, because we almost cried in the first segment.
You know, Jayson, thank you for doing this. Campion, all of you who are bringing real stuff to the screen, to the airwaves, because it's needed right now. You know, I have an artist right now, and Layla Steinberg, who began Tupac Shakur's career, was my business partner for about 20 years. And she started Pac in a writing group, and she called it Mic Sessions. And so by the time I connected with Layla, we would go inside juvenile halls, foster homes, and prisons, and we'd be in juvenile hall, and there'd be 40 kids sitting there and say, what's the difference between anger and violence? Anybody can answer that?
Nothing.
What's the difference? Any idea?
Action.
Okay. Because when I first heard that, I was like, anger and violence, what's the difference? And that's because we learned math, science, history, but not how to put words to feelings.
Right.
So anger is an emotion, we're allowed, right? And violence is an action.
Right.
Exactly. And so inside of juvenile hall at 14 years old, we found a kid. If you type him in hip hop DX, which is like Time magazine for hip hop, you will type in Rusty, California, and Kendrick Lamar will pop up. And that's because Kendrick borrowed a phrase called Democrats and Republicans gang banging on behalf of the government. That's what Rusty said. Democrats and Republicans.
Yep.
So that was one of Kendrick's songs. He had that phrase, but Rusty was the very first one to say it. So I got the artist right now that many are waiting because of that article, and I believe he has the ability to help slow some of the bullets down in our community, which was designed. This was all designed. And the reason why I brought him up, because very quickly I'm going to give you a little piece of this. Is called Innocent Criminal. And it goes, they say the 60s was crazy, but the 80s was worse. Crack fucked blacks and gave birth to a curse. The moon is bright, the sky is misty, know my future because I know my history. My life predicted by a gypsy. At the end of the story, murder she wrote, the streets get me. Ghetto prisoner. Won't stop fighting until I'm free, raised in a city of fallen angels where niggas ain't scared to breathe. If money is the root of all evil, then greed's the seed. This ain't living, we taking because ain't nobody giving. America's a rich man's vision, but a poor man's prison. So don't expect these politicians to give you a pot to piss in. Preacher man! Stop this. We ain't gonna listen. Folks lost hope and stopped trying us. Life's bitch from the start, that's why you come out your mama crying. And people are dying and gone mad. Take a shit on the White House, wipe my ass with the flag. When will the murder end? Too many browns and blacks in the system, victims of legal sin, in court praying for mercy when condemned by evil men. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. If it's a God, where is he? My homies dying over hundreds and fifties. I sit back, sip yak, and analyze the situation in a person alive today. Know the monster we facing, they crucified Jesus Christ. So Marcus Garvey for rice. Shot Malcolm X in the chest, gave Nelson Mandela life. Pac died at 25, Biggie died a year younger, all my life been broke. I'm motivated by my hunger. Tell my mama bury me with a 357, just in case God tripping, I don't get into heaven. If he send me to hell, then oh well. Because I just did 19 years in the ghetto as a black male. And it can't get much harder than that. I had a lot of pain in my heart. Started to rap. You see the mother brothers that make you dance, justice make you think. You saving up for a Bentley, I'm saving up for a tank. It's just the mindset of a soldier. Shit is crazy, huh? But this is what I see. We no longer slaves, but we sure ain't free. So until I ain't gotta steal and kill from my own folks tattooed across my soul, all these words I just spoke, who the fuck y'all gonna call when I break all the laws on behalf of every innocent criminal? And that's the name of it, and that's what she is. That's what we are. Trapped in a land, captured and caged by demons. So I just wanted to say that because her story tops it all. Forget me. I'm here to support my babies. That's what I'm about. And when I met her, I whispered in her ear my story. And in the moment, she saw herself in me. And then we split. Her daughter came and went to say something. And the way she looked at her daughter and said, and the daughter listened. I thought, wait a minute. In this climate, we got a mom and a daughter wise enough to stop in a moment and show respect. I was like, who are you? So I kept calling. And I kept calling, and I didn't know why. But it was for this moment right here. So we say this to you all. to be blessed and chosen and highly favored, to have these people here in Las Vegas, Jayson, worldwide, that's where it shall be. There's always a way. Now, as I rap, I've carried 3 cardboard signs in my life. One said seeking human kindness. The other one said just hungry. And the other one said broke, but not broken. Because poor is a state of mind, broke is a situation. I don't care if you got to go to the grocery store. If you got to go in and say, I don't want to steal because I got a criminal record too. I did 4 years, 5 months in a joint. And I've been in a grocery store and asked the manager, please give me some cookie dough. Pillsbury, please. And went from door to door and knocked and said, I need to bake the cookies. I have no place to stay because I want to start selling cookies because I don't want to go back to the joint. I ended up making $1,000 in a weekend from that. My 3 cardboard signs. I'm going to say it again because the game is to be sold, not told. But all of you that are chosen and highly favored to hear this today, just hungry, seeking human kindness, broke but not broken. Many people talk about pride from the pits of hell. When you ain't got nothing, you got to start somewhere. But don't you ever believe that there is not a creator that created you. And that creator will listen to your plea. And that's what she did when she said, I got to change. I said the same. Jayson did too. Thank you.
Yes.
That gave me
Well,
chills.
I'm like, I don't even know what to say after this. I thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity
Capion.
to talk with us, to come onto the show. I really do. And I look forward to working with you guys. I'm very excited about this. It's rare that you find people that's in the same element that you are. Like I said, my mission statement actually says, if you work with me, you'll get an email. Mission statement says, we are built off James 2:26. That faith without works is dead. So while you're over here praying, just let us come help you do the work.
Yes.
Because a lot of people forget that with everything you try to do, it's going to be some struggle. That's why you overcome a lot. Some people think that you're in school because you just want to be educated, but literally school is a test of duration. So when people drop out, that's why we see it as a bad thing, because in our minds we see it as you can't, what's going to happen when the next thing come up. That's why we push you to keep going, because if you can fight through 12 years of school, if you can fight through 4 years of college, if you can fight through the pain that you're getting as you go through there, then there's nothing that you're going to not be able to overcome. And you have to understand that. So I appreciate all you guys coming out.
Just honored.
And
Thank you for having us.
Honored. This was impromptu.
This was the first time I think I've ever told my
And guys, this is Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. I thank my guests for being here. I thank my audience. And Cap, you know I love you to life.
Angel.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take us out.
Thank you.
Indeed. Wow.
That was part 2 of Real Talk with Jayson Dixon, featuring my good friend Cheryl and some new special guests that we will be networking with soon. And when you touch down in Las Vegas, don't forget to come by Nevada Wellness Center Dispensary. We're the only black-owned dispensary in Nevada. So come by, holler at Frank Hawkins or holler at Capion. I'll be upstairs. We could do you an interview. But until then, keep it locked to NWCLB.FM. I am DJ King Cobra. I move slick, strike quick, hit you once, and it's over. And DJ, that's digital journalist, because I don't jock nothing. You heard me? Off top we hot.
Man.